Welcome into Sports Talk with Theo Dorsey. South Georgia, let's talk sports, and more specifically, high school basketball. Tonight, we're delivering something the area has never seen before, a show dedicated to hoops across South Georgia.
That's right, Theo, and we're going to give out honors to players and teams who've performed well over the week, and we'll update you on the latest news in prep hoops. And of course, we'll invite coaches into the studio to beat Theo at trivia, share their journeys with you, and Lee County's Kirven Davis will join us in a little bit. He's this two-time reigning coach of the year in his region, and he's attempting to lead his Trojans to their second straight region title. But first, let's dive into the latest in South Georgia hoops.
Thank you, Mike. Well, except for the trivia part. Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday nights are time to lace up your sneakers and shine on the hardwood. No athlete in South Georgia has illuminated scoreboards more than our very own first Shining Star of the Week. Thomasville's Reggie Perry has been averaging 23.5 points and nearly 13 boards per game for Thomasville in his senior year. Most importantly, he was just selected to the McDonald's All-American game. Perry is off the market for colleges. He signed with Mississippi State before the season started. His Bulldogs are 16-2 so far on the season, so congrats to him and Thomasville, the City of Roses.
All right, Theo, well, individual accolades are great, and even better, though, are team awards. Westover's boys basketball team hasn't lost a game since December 2nd, and that's why they're squad goals. The Patriots have won 12 straight basketball games. In that span, they have beaten teams by an average of over 10 points per game. Westover came out of the gate slow this season with a 1-3 start. With the recent run, they are positioning themselves to finish first in the region in the regular season. Accomplishing that would give them home court for the region playoffs.
Now that's very important. Well, here comes the part of the show where I open myself up to the hate mail. Mike told me not to do it, but the people need it. Here's the Sports Talk South Georgia basketball power rankings. Starting with the boys, Thomasville taking the top spot in the initial rankings, led by Perry, despite falling to Pelham this past week. Americus Sumter is second, Westover third. Now, this was a close one. The Patriots riding that 12-game win streak, including the home win over Americus, but the Panthers were on a back-to-back following a draining six overtime victory. Fourth is Calhoun County. They have the best point differential in South Georgia so far. Fifth, Tift County, the reigning state champs. They have wins over the Coffee, Lee, Lowndes, and Colquitt this season, and then Pelham getting the honorable mention on the boys' side. Over to the girls, Bainbridge taking the top spot. They're steaming hot on an 11-game win streak, 18-2. Colquitt County is second. The Lady Packers, who just returned from New York, have only one loss to an area team, and that was Bainbridge. Third, Pelham, the defending state champs in Single A. Fourth, Westover. They've won 7 straight and have swept the Albany area schools. Fifth, Early County, who just beat Terrell County. And speaking of, the Lady Green Wave come in as the honorable mention. So direct your hate mail to Mike. And if you don't like what you saw there and you want to kind of voice your own opinion, here goes your chance, because Play of the Week voting has been popular in football over the past 2 seasons, and we're bringing it to the hardwood for you. Here are your 3 options, so hop on Facebook page, Theo Dorsey, WALB News 10, to vote. Option 1, Monroe down 1 at Lee County with seconds to go. Alyssa Jones misses the free throw. She steals the pass and is going to drain the jumper at the buzzer to win on the road. They were down by 1. She almost lost it, but she won it. React with love on Facebook to vote for this game-winning play.
All right, on to the second option. Lee County versus Glenn Academy in the You Save It Classic. Tyler Colbert with the leaping catch, and right there, look at him. Flushes it in. Check him out again here in just a second. And he's going to make work of 3 defenders in just a matter of seconds. Ooh, a little spin move there. React with a wow on Facebook to vote for this play.
All right, and option 3, Thomasville at Early County, the girls' game. It's tied late. Lady Bulldogs get a game-clinching 3-point shot from Treyoncia Andrews. That was in the corner, and she drained it like a pro. React with haha to choose this one. Voting lasts until Monday at noon. The winner will be announced on Facebook and highlighted on next week's episode on Sports Talk.
All right, and before we go any further, we need to tip our caps to an accomplishment by a very accomplished girls basketball head coach. Pelham head coach Antonia Tukes notched her 200th career victory in a 74-10 win over Stewart County this past weekend. The Lady Hornets, they're fresh off of a single-A public state championship last season, and this year they've gotten off to a 16-1 start. She's going for number 202 at home against Terrell County on Friday. And speaking of spectacular coaches, stick around because two-time Region 1-6A Coach of the Year, Kervin Davis, is joining Sports Talk after the break. He's going to play trivia and speak about his coaching journey. Welcome to the show, and the party has finally started because Lee County boys basketball coach Kervin Davis has joined us. Welcome to the show, Coach Davis.
Glad to be here.
Great, and as you can see, we're about to get our trivia on here, but before we do that, Theo, let's catch the people up on Coach Davis's coaching resume.
Well, of course, I'd be glad to. Coach Davis is South Georgia down to his roots. He played ball at Doherty from 84 to 88, then hooped at Albany State. Now he's leading the Lee County Trojans. Let's take a look at how he got there, though. His first high school job was an assistant under Dallas Smith at Westover in 1998. He parlayed that into a 9-year run in Moultrie, leading the Packers. And Davis spent a year as an assistant at Terrell County before Lee County hired him in 2013 to lead the Trojans. He's now in his 5th year there and has had a lot of success with those Trojans. So it's our honor to have you on the show, Coach Davis.
All right. Well, I
beat him down in trivia.
Well, I was just about to say I like the sportsmanship, but then you included that. But yeah, we're here. We like to call it Theo versus everyone because Theo takes on every coach we have.
Gotcha.
It's simple. You just buzz in to answer. If you get an answer right, you get a ball, and the person with the most at the end wins.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys ready?
He's not ready. He didn't look sure enough.
I think he's ready. All right, here we go. We're going to start off these questions. I'm going to give you guys 2 choices. You got to pick one, and you buzz in to answer. All right, what piece of basketball equipment formerly owned by Steph Curry sold at auction for $3,190 in 2016? Was it his gym socks or his mouth guard?
Mouthpiece.
Yes.
Mouth guard, whatever you said.
Mouthpiece, mouth guard, it works. All right, we're going to keep rolling. First blood, Theo, but we got a lot more questions left.
I'm good at this if you haven't noticed.
I've seen him lose a lot, so don't worry. All right, to our next question here, the this or that question. We're going to switch over here. Sorry, I just got to get the cards going right.
Let's get it.
All right, little intermission. All right, the Globetrotters did not actually originate in Harlem. What city did the team form in? Was it Chicago or Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Chicago.
Oh.
Good guess, good guess.
Oh, okay.
Got it down. All right, we're going to have one more question with a this or that answer. All right. Okay, why does Kevin Durant wear the number 35? Was it because his first basketball coach was murdered at the age of 35, or he plans to retire at the age of 35? That was a tie. We'll give it to Coach.
Gonna say basketball coach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on, man.
He's honoring his coach there with that number.
Of course. He's going to retire at the age of 30. He's been wearing this since Texas.
He's been planning that maybe for a while. But yeah, you're right, Coach.
Okay,
We got a tied game, too. These questions, you guys have to come up with the answers on your own. All right, who was the first NBA player or in NBA history to be elected MVP by a unanimous vote?
Stephen Curry.
Yes.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right.
They was mad, too. They was mad about that one.
I mean, they weren't too mad if they voted unanimously.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. What NBA player scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962?
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He got that one
He's
because he's
got
tall.
it. I like it. This one's going back and forth. It's close.
Yeah, of course.
All right, we're going to keep on rolling here. Which team holds the record for the longest winning streak in NBA history?
Showtime Lakers.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
This is
33.
Lakers.
33 pieces.
Yep, 33 games, 71-72.
I ain't no rookie now. I ain't no rookie.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. It's still pretty close, so it might be more embarrassing if you get beat and
if I
you're
start
not
bragging.
a rookie. All right, so how many games, speaking of Wilt Chamberlain, how many games did Chamberlain fall out during his 14-year NBA career?
How many did he foul out?
Foul
I thought he said
out.
fall like a
Fall out, no, foul.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. 300.
I'm gonna go 0.
It's 0.
That's crazy. I was like, if it's a trivia question, it must be a crazy answer.
Well, there we go. All right, we got a couple more questions
That's
left.
wild,
As we
though.
see, there's still 2 questions left, I believe. So we still got a game here.
Oh, and the last question is 2 points.
Yes, the last
okay,
question
so he
is 2
can still
points.
win.
So
Okay,
yeah, he can still
okay.
win. All right, who holds the NBA record for most points scored by a prep to pro player in his debut outing?
That was easy. LeBron James.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
LeBron.
man.
All right, that
Yeah.
sets you up for a possible win here.
What you
This
want?
last question
What you
is
want?
worth 2 points. All right, how many teams are in the WNBA?
Oh, why did I rank like I knew that? 12.
That's right.
Oh,
You got it right. You got 2 there.
2 more. Hey,
Well,
You deserve to win it.
that was wild. That was
right.
wild. Yeah, well, that's what I do. That's what I do. I expected
That's
that.
not, as you've seen if you're watching, that's not always what he does.
Well, I appreciate the sportsmanship and the competitive. You got your hand behind your back.
Yeah, I'm holding myself right now.
Yeah, you
I don't like to lose.
you want to jump over for beating him that bad. That's what it is.
No, I don't think so.
I hate to lose.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that competitive nature as well as some of Coach Davis's feats and how he got to where he's at with Lee County. So stick right here with us on Sports Talk. We got a lot more for you. Welcome back to the show. I'm joined here by the very tall Kirven Davis, the coach of Lee County. I'm getting dwarfed here on my own show, but I did beat you at trivia, so it's all good, right?
Luckily.
Something like that. But we want to, and I know for you as a coach, and we already broke down your coaching resume and kind of how you got here as a journey. But with coaching, like many professions, it's about relationships, not just with other coaches, but I know you've had a lot of relationships with coaches throughout South Georgia. You've gotten your start under Dallas Smith, a fraternity brother, but also you have a wife at Lee County High School who's also coaching basketball and volleyball, and Tondra Davis. I mean, how important is it for you, those relationships and coaching? How does that help refine you on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it's all about relationships, to be honest. It's not about wins and losses. I always say it's 2 types of coaches. It's trophy chasers and difference makers. And if you're a guy who chasing a trophy, you get lost on the side of the relationship side, because your only relationship is that eager and that vigor to win a ball game instead of winning in the lives of kids. So if we can do that, that's always my goal. The trophies will come if you can win. The greatest thing ever is when a kid come back and say, Coach, I remember when you said this, I remember when you did that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's got to be a special feeling for you. I mean, and as a coach as well, I talk specifically about Lee County right now. You do coach, and you coach the boys team. Tondra coaching the girls team, doing a good job with them. And what do you guys feed off of each other at all? With you guys being in such a close vicinity, coaching teams up at the same school?
Well, we make suggestions. It's almost like a marriage, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, you learn when to make suggestions, and you learn when not to make suggestions.
Yeah.
You kind of watch the reaction after a game. If it's a victory, it's easier to make suggestions. But if it's not, you have to wait till the quiet time to kind of interject what you might think, and it's received a little better. But it's a great working and marriage relationship.
Right, and with you as well, you had Marquise, your brother, who was coaching at Monroe for several years, stepped down since. But what about you with you guys? Is it kind of similar with that as well?
Oh yeah, it's camaraderie. We've been competing since birth, I believe. I just came out first. But no, he's one if I can have a better brother. He still comes to games, and maybe sometime walking in halftime, he'll give me an input. You need to press more or whatever. So that's always been good. And we always, not a day go by we don't communicate, be it basketball or just life in general.
Yeah, that's a special thing. Now for you as a coach, I know you spoke a lot about how important relationships are you. Which relationships outside of just family have been the most impactful for you in your journey up? Because you, like I said, you played at ASU, played at Doherty, and after ASU, you actually started coaching at Mary Acres as an assistant before getting that start at Westover. What relationships early on kind of propelled you?
It's interesting, every one of those relationships. And I could tell you a piece from the beginning. Coach Givens at Doherty, he taught toughness. Coach Jones at Albany State, he's a philosopher. Coach King gave me the greatest information ever. He said, stop coaching against the other coach and coach against the mentality of the players. And then when I moved on to Dallas Smith, he's a defensive-minded guy. So I stole and I kind of put all those experiences together as a player, as a coach. It kind of came up my own little recipe of kind of how to be successful, and so far it's worked out.
Yeah, and for you, I know at Colquitt County specifically, you had the most playoff appearances of any head coach there. That wasn't necessarily a basketball program, but you got it started there. I know Andy Harden there is keeping it going. And you kind of did the same thing now with Lee County. Lee County wasn't known as a basketball, or at least for a while they hadn't been. I know they got the state championship back in the day. But things were down a little bit before you joined Lee County. I think they had 7 wins within the past 2 seasons when you took over. And now you guys are, battling. You guys have made the second round of the playoffs the last 2 years. What does it take for you to be able to position a team like that wasn't used to winning into getting themselves in the winning situation?
Well, honestly, I learned a lot at Colquitt because it wasn't a basketball, I'm not going to say basketball friendly, but not just known for basketball. So you had to learn how to coach. You had to learn how to teach the little things that most people overlook when you're winning. When you're losing teaches, when you're not winning, it makes you a better coach because you pay attention to detail. So now I come in paying attention to detail in a new situation. And that's basically what we did here at Lee. We paid attention to detail and we got the kids to buy into us as a program, not individually. In this day and age, everything is about the individual. But that's the great thing. We don't have any egos. We don't have any kids.
That's a shock now. That's tough to find.
Exactly. So I'm enjoying it while it lasts because success sometimes breeds that. But right now, we're still hungry and the kids are eager to learn. They come every day and they work hard.
Yeah, I know right now, when it comes to record-wise, you guys are fighting from behind a little bit, but you're still in position to actually still win the region in the regular season. What do you think about this team you got so far? How far along are they at this point in the season? Are you feeling good about it?
I'm feeling good because the beginning of the season, we lost about 8 games, 2 points or less. With basically a JV due to the fact that a lot of our key guys played football and we won a state championship in football. So for the last 2 weeks, I could see the maturity level kick up because we got our older guys back. And just Saturday night, we knocked off Tiff County, which is a prominent program in South Georgia. So that was huge for us going into the region. Big region weekend coming up with Northside and Valdosta. We win those 2, it put us right there in second place.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, the region is no joke this year. I know last year it wasn't a joke either, but it's even heightened a little bit. How tough is that going to be fighting through a region that's becoming more of a gauntlet?
Well, it's good for us because we've been there before now. It's not really uncomfortable. The kids kind of expect it now, and I can tell the difference in practice, and I can tell the difference with the older guys. It's great to win in a sport that leads into yours. Because those guys are bringing a winning mentality in. So that's really helping us with those young guys that got so much early game experience.
Yeah, that's definitely a strong energy being brought in there. For those that don't know, of course, he's talking about the Lee County football team that just won the 6A state championship. And you guys had, what, 2, 3 players come from the team? Or more
we had about 8.
8.
Yes.
Had 8 guys come from that varsity team that just won the state championship. So on the upward trend is the Lee County basketball team. Let's take a break, and after we come back from the break, we're going to speak more about not just Coach Davis's team, but about a game that you're not going to want to miss this weekend. Stay tuned here on Sports Talk. Welcome back to Sports Talk. We have Kervin Davis of Lee County basketball, the man who brought the 4th region championship in school history and first since 2007 this past season, and he's trying to defend that region title, Now, for you guys in that region championship season, you had an experience that a lot of South Georgia teams don't get to get, and that's when you guys took that trip to California in the Covis Elk Classic out in Fresno. What did that do for the Lee County Trojans team last year, and what kind of changes did you see after that trip?
Well, it allows a lot of times games and practices don't allow you to mesh as a team outside of court stuff. Things as simple as boarding an airplane. You got to trust the guy next to you. The day-to-day matriculation through when we got to California, seeing the site, the culture is different from South Georgia. They almost looked at us like we were exotic fruit because our kids were manable, yes ma'am, no ma'am, that kind of stuff. So we got a chance to compare ideas. Style of play was different. Shot clock was out that way. And what that allowed us to do is learn to play faster. So when we got back to our area, we played big name guys, we learned to play faster. When you play faster, you got to play together. So when we got back to our region tournament, it made it that much easier because our kids were familiar with playing back-to-back and playing at a high level. So it allowed us to kind of believe. That's almost like if you leave home and go see the world. When you come back, your world seems that much smaller.
Definitely so.
So now you're really confident, and we came back with an air about us, to be honest. And and it helped us on our run. You know, we lost to the state champion
Yeah.
by 1 point at our place.
Right. Well, it worked out. You won the region championship. I want to give a quick look at the game you're going to see next week or this weekend. Pelham hosting Terrell County is going to be a big game, so pack the stands for that one. I'll see you guys out there. Coach Davis, thanks again for joining us. Congrats on the past region championship. We'll be following you guys the rest of the season.